Hey everybody, Mike Steele here with BBQ Champs Academy live show tonight. We've got a great one in store for you with Mr. Three-time world champion Sterling Smith with Luton Booty Barbecue. And I'll tell you what, he's coming off a big win this weekend down in Lubbock, Texas, and it is going to be a great show. We've had a great time this past week with the cook-off that we had over in Gilmer, Texas, and we'll talk a little bit more about that here in just a little bit. But as you come in, certainly let us know. Scott, certainly glad to have you here, buddy. You're always the first one, Johnny on the spot, man, every time. And we appreciate you being here week in and week out. Got Mr. John here. Good evening, John. Hope you are doing well from Madison, Wisconsin. Tim, hope you are doing well, man. We are really excited. We're getting ready for another competition. We got a chance to go cook in Gilmer, Texas this weekend at a first-time event. Had an absolute blast, so we're going to talk a little bit more about that. Mr. Rick, how are you doing? Hope you and your wife are doing well. And I think you had a pretty deadgum good call this weekend in steak, so congratulations on that. Mr. Terry Roan is in the house. How you doing, Mr. Terry? Glad to have you here, Brandon. I'm certainly happy to see that you've done very well. I think if I recall, you got a golden ticket this past week in ancillary. And certainly want to congratulate you on that. And can keep it up. Keep it up. Chris Carden, man, congratulations on your big wins this weekend up in Gadsden, Alabama. I know you was up there with Lee Hickle and Bill Purvis and Phil Breeden. If I recall, you had a first place pork and had a fourth place chicken. And I know whose chicken you cooked in that class. So we certainly do appreciate you coming on our show tonight. And congratulations. I think you finished third overall up there in Gadsden. So awesome job. Miss Jana Mays is in the house. How are you doing? We've been missing you. I don't think I've seen you on here in a couple weeks. And if I have, I don't recall it. But certainly glad that you are with us here tonight. Miss Caitlin, we certainly are glad to see you with us tonight. Appreciate you being here. Everybody that just keeps coming in, I tell you what, it's so great to have everybody with us. I don't want to just take up too much time going through there because I got something kind of I want to go through and kind of recognize some of these people that have done so good this year or this weekend at the competition. So it's going to be a fun show. And if you got any questions for Sterling, certainly please let us know. Sterling he's going to kind of open things up. And if you got a barbecue question, I guarantee you this man here can certainly answer it because he has got a lot of barbecue knowledge. So first of all, I want to kind of do a couple things here real quick, and I want to go over here and hit a screen share. And let's talk a little bit about some of the people that actually cooked this weekend, and let's recognize them. There's the first one I want to talk about. Miss Sunny Mooney had a first place in turkey this weekend at the Shed. And I certainly do want to recognize her. I know she was absolutely ecstatic, and we're going to have to find out when she gets on here. I haven't seen her pop on here yet, but it's going to be interesting to see what rub she used on that turkey. And I know Sterling Smith and her are very good friends, and it wouldn't surprise me if she didn't use that Gold Star chicken rub. So certainly a big shout out to Sunny. The next one we want to recognize. Got one more. We got actually two more. Robbie Royal. Robbie Royal showed up and showed out cooking. I think he actually cooked a big old nice thick pork chop. And Robbie is a pork king for sure, being from Georgia. And I don't think he's ever cooked pork chops before in competition. And he showed up there and had a first place in pork. So certainly do want to congratulate Robbie Royal with Rescue Smokers. He's got an amazing class on BBQ Champs Academy that shows brisket, ribs, pork butt, chicken. And he actually does a pork loin, not a tenderloin, a pork loin. And you can certainly check out his classes at bbqchamps.com. One more that we want to talk about, and he has been absolutely ripping it apart here lately, and that would be this man right here, Mr. John Lindsay. I think now this is 3 straight second place wins or second place finishes that he has had here in the last 3 weeks, and John has just kind of got his mojo back and doing very well. So certainly do want to recognize him for an outstanding weekend as well. So once again, as you come in, let us know. And if you got any questions for Sterling, we certainly do appreciate getting the questions to us, and we'll get those answers those questions answered for you. There's one more that I want to bring up as well, and I got a chance to cook this weekend in Gilmer, Texas. We had an absolute blast over there. Cooking with a lot of our barbecue family. It was a first-time event. They had 40 teams. I was fortunate enough to walk away with a 10th place chicken, an 8th place rib, and had a 5th place brisket, finished 6th overall out of 40 teams. I was very happy with that. But I'll tell you who I was most happy with, and that was this man right here. And I want to play this video real quick. This is one of our customers that have taken some of our classes. He's taking Corey Mike's and Lee Hickle's class, and I'm going to play this real quick, and when this is over, we'll come right back. But it was really nice to see him give a shout out to these guys.
Hey everybody, Mike Steele here with BBQ Champs Academy, and this guy has been on absolute fire, Mr. Rick Mail, another RGC, absolutely tearing it up. That's 3 grand champions and a reserve grand champions in what, about your last 5 or 6?
4.
Last four. 3 GCs and 3 GCs and an RGC. He is tearing it up. He took Lee Hickle and Corey Mike's class. Brother, you're killing it.
Thank you.
You want to learn to cook like these guys right here? Go to bbqchamps.com. They'll put you in the winner's circle.
Yes.
Oh, goodness. We absolutely had a blast, and congratulations to Rick. He has been just absolutely tearing it up. He had 3 straight grand champions, and I think there was one cook-off that he didn't hit, and he came right back this weekend, cooked with him in Gilmer, had a reserve grand champion. So 3 grands in a row and missed one, and then had an RGC this weekend. We had a great time. They did an amazing job over there at that barbecue competition for a first-time cook-off. It was absolutely amazing, and we had a lot of fun. So just wanted to kind of give a shout-out to everybody that we recognize that had done extremely well, especially over at the shed. I know there was a lot of others that was out there that was cooking that did really well, and one of them is going to be on our show tonight, and that's Mr. Sterling Smith with his big grand champion that he had down in Lubbock, Texas. So once again, we're just trying to give everybody just a few moments to kick on here. As you come on, certainly let us know and give us a shout that you're on. Let's see what else we got. Sterling is killing it on the trail this year. Looking forward to it. Yep, he has been doing very well. Morning, mate. Keen to hear what Sterling has to say today. Lucas, we appreciate you being here, buddy. Let's see. Robbie is doing the SEA event he talked about. I don't know. I know Robbie has been wanting to get into SEA competition and do a couple of the stakes, but I don't know if he's done it yet. We got Miss Marissa Overson. Hey, girl, how are you doing? Champs in the house. And hope you are going to enjoy this show tonight as much as I am, because I think we're going to have a great one. Got Mr. David with Gunnar Wilhelm, one of the absolute best knives that I've ever come across. Super amazing wicked edge on those things. I'm impressed every time I pick one up and use it. Paul, good to have you here. And last but not least, Papa Joe Grilling Supply at Hutto, Texas. They're here, and I bet y'all are busy, busy, busy. So we certainly do want to go right in now, and we're fixing to get ready to bring in all of our sponsors and just kind of quickly go over those that help are partnered with us for this show. We really do appreciate it. Certainly want to give them a shout out, and then we're fixing to bring Sterling in. So first of all, we got to thank Danny Helm with Be Extreme Barbecue. Have had his support ever since day one when we started BBQ Champs Live, and certainly glad to have him here with us. Also, B&B Charcoal. They may have been bought out by Duraflame, but for what I've understood, everything's going the same, and hopefully the supply chain will get unbottled up and they can get that charcoal back out, because it has just been a huge demand for their charcoal this year. I absolutely love it. I run their hickory and their char logs in my smoker for my competitions, and absolutely love it. Lone Star Barbecue Pro Shop, Mr. Brian Crawford. He also owns Crawford Barbecue Pit Products. Absolutely appreciate Brian carrying almost every single product that we have, along with Papa Joe Grilling Supply in Hutto, Texas. They have a huge inventory of pretty much the same rubs that is used in all of our classes as well. Mr. David with Gunnar Wilhelm, already mentioned him just a minute ago being on our show. Certainly appreciate him. Last week we had Gina on here with TapaQ. They are working on a dual sensor probe for the SCA that I think is going to be a game changer. She's very excited about that and looking forward to seeing how that works out. Also, the barbecue store down in Hempstead, Texas, from Mr. Dustin Stanley, another great place to get your barbecue supplies from. They have a lot of different products down there and some amazing cookers and smokers and grills. They've got a whole store full of barbecue products. And last but not least, Barbecue News Magazine with Mr. Kale. Appreciate them being part of our show as well. Well, without further ado, it's time to bring in the man of the hour, Mr. Sterling Smith. Brother, how you doing?
I'm doing awesome. Thank you for having me on the show. I'd also like to thank Luton Booty Barbecue for sponsoring the show as well. You can't forget that cat.
Oh, goodness gracious. I tell you what, Luton Booty Barbecue, it is no question you have been out cooking a whole lot more than I've seen you cooking last year. I think COVID had us so bottlenecked up and ready to romp and roll that it was finally just nice to be able to get out. So tell us what you've had going on this year.
Well, obviously last year a lot of stuff got shut down. I had a lot of classes going on. They had to get rescheduled. All the events pretty much out here on the West Coast have been canceled or pushed back. I think there's a couple going on. There's one going on in California actually this weekend. But, obviously we've been cooped up for a while. And still, here out West, nothing has really opened up in terms of competitions and events besides SCA comps, which I have a couple going on. But on the KCBS side, we don't have anything until really, like I said, this week in California, but then Memorial Weekend in Boulder City, Nevada.
Right.
So, me and some guys in Arizona, we wanted to get out. And so we formed a YSB barbecue, and we did a couple events. We did Shawnee, we did Humble, Texas, and took third overall in Humble, and third overall second day in Shawnee. And then usually my buddy John Reeves and I, he's a GMG brand ambassador, much like myself, down in Lubbock, Texas. We do an event together, and last year we did Enid, Oklahoma, and we did well there. We took third overall as Team GMG, and I can't do Enid this year due to a prior commitment. So I started looking on the KCBS calendar and found an event in his backyard that he didn't even know about, and I ended up flying out there. We teamed up as Team GMG, and it was a nice little 18 team event, and fortunately. I don't think the marketing was good for it, but there's some great teams out there, and we had a blast. And
right.
When it comes together, it comes together.
Right.
Sometimes you hit on this, you hit on that, but something else falters. And I've been working a lot to have that consistency. Kind of this year, being out of the game for a while, doing a lot of classes and teaching.
Right.
That it all just kind of came together there, and we ended up with a 701.
Wow.
7 points ahead of the field. And it was good, man. I haven't had a KCBS GC, I think, since 2017. In
right.
the last couple of years, I've been focusing on teaching. And, I went from doing 26 to 28 barbecue competitions a year in 2014 and 15 to teaching 26 to 27 classes
right.
a year. And so when everything kind of slowed down in terms of classes, I wanted to fill in some competitions. And, I am back to teaching classes, but, I do enjoy the art and the craft of getting out in that competition field and having a great time and enjoying the process and cooking and just refining my craft and refining my art. So that's what I look at it as. And the more you do, the better you get. Absolutely.
Yep. Well, take a look at them bad boys. You see the screen? Can you see the screen on the?
I see John Lindsay on here.
It didn't switch over. Hold on one second. That's my fault.
He is a bad boy, man.
Let me get over here and cut him off. I try to do this again. I must have had the wrong one pulled up. So let's try this one more time. All right. What about now?
Look at them. There you go.
Look at them bad boys right there. Golly. You posted that picture and I was like, man, I tell you what, you are the chicken leg man. There is no doubt. Color on those things is absolutely beautiful. I see you got another 700 pin. What was your final score, Sterling?
701 point
701.
Something.
Hey, it don't matter if it was 700.001. Take it.
I'll take it all day long.
Yeah. So
I've really been working on those legs. I actually, I was doing thighs and wings in a box for several years. I mean, my first place chicken at the American Royal Invitational in 2014 was 6 thighs and 6 wings in the middle. And I ran that box, after that for several years, and I think I have 6 180s in chicken doing that
Wow.
process.
Right.
And then it stopped hitting for me. I was doing it over and over, and I don't know what happened. Maybe something with the judging, maybe something with my flavor, something the process, whatever it may be. It stopped placing for me. So, I said, you know what, I want to try something else. I want to try something, that not a lot of people are doing. And I think it was maybe 2 or 3 years ago, you'd see a couple leg boxes here and there. So, I started practicing on legs, and, obviously it's process, getting it down, doing it the right way.
Right.
You win some, you lose some. But when you get it down, and you're doing it the right way, then, that technique is pretty much what you're going to do the whole time. And that's the same technique that's in my barbecue class is what I'm doing to this day. It's the same process, same cooking way. I tweak little things here and there. I think as a professional cook, if we want to say we're professional anyway, you have to continue to change and tweak and monitor, your results. And if they're not working for you, you have to change. So, I tweak little things here and there along the way. But the process and the technique is pretty much exactly the same.
Right. Well, that's what it's all about. So, and everybody's saying, looks amazing. Congratulations. Yep. Nathan said, don't let all the secrets out. You still have to win. So
I saw Richard Gaitan post, and actually he came out and helped us. He was out there this weekend, and he came and lent a hand, and he was a good little guy. So what's up, Paco? Good to see you on here, buddy.
There you go.
Somebody said secrets. Don't let all the secrets out. To me, there's no secrets. I can tell you. I can let you in my tent. I can show you exactly what I do all day long from start to finish. But you still have to execute. You still have to do it, and you still have to do it that way every time. And so, the secret is it's the process, and it's the dedication, and it's sticking to that timeline and doing it the right way. Secrets are secrets, man. But I'll tell you everything. You still got to execute and make it happen.
Yeah, that's one thing I've noticed in your class. Your class was a really technical class. The attention to detail in your cooking class that you did on BBQ Champs was really good, and we've got some people that have done very well cooking, especially your chicken legs. Let's face it, your chicken legs are phenomenal. We've got some people that's done really well with your pork and everything else. Now, Corey can't let nothing slide, right? So, Sterling, Texas brisket or Santa Maria tricep? Yeah, way to go, Corey. Touche.
You know what? At the end of the day, it's hard to beat a good, fatty, unctuous slice of Texas.
There you go, baby.
That fatty portion where all
sir.
It's over the flat. You can't beat that bite.
No,
it's hard to beat that bite when it's properly rendered, fat and smoky.
Yeah,
I'll take that all day.
That's it. Corey, I think maybe he's finally realizing when he shows up in Texas, he better roll up and cook a serious Texas brisket.
Absolutely.
You got to. They know what their brisket tastes like. So
we ended up second in brisket this.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah, we took,
good.
First in chicken, ninth in ribs, second pork, and second in brisket. And it was just as good a brisket as it was chicken.
There you go. Man, that's good. Congratulations. Bill Purvis says we're watching.
I think brisket.
Oh, goodness. Oh, man. Well, if y'all got any questions for Sterling, certainly now's a good time to get them out there because he's all anything barbecue he likes to talk about. So if you got a question for him, we certainly do want to make sure that we get that out. I think Corey's had a little fun with him. So anyway, if you're using a pellet cooker, let's see, if you use a pellet grill for barbecue, I highly recommend Sterling's Barbecue Champ class. Nathan, thank you, man. I know he appreciates it. I think you had reached out to me like who cooks on pellet cookers, and it seems like I remember that conversation in an email or something, and I said, you might want to check out Sterling's class because I know for a fact you did ribs and you did chicken on the pellet cooker, and
Absolutely.
then you do a drum style on your brisket and pork. Yeah.
In normal competitions, my normal setup, I use 2 Gateway drums and I use a Green Mountain Grill Daniel Boone. I switch back and forth what proteins are in which cooking device sometimes. But to me, as long as I get it tender and finish it properly, it really doesn't matter how I got it there,
Right.
So if I want to add a pop of smoke off of something that was cooked on the GMG, I can set the sauce at the end on the gateway drum and get some smoke into it, within a minute or two. So it's really the process of getting it tender and then finishing accordingly. But I like that combination of the drum. I love the flavor you get off the drum. I love the quick, hot and fast cooks with the ease and convenience of a GMG. Chicken doesn't need a lot of smoke. It doesn't need to be smoky and overly anything. And GMG gives you that nice, light, consistent smoke on it. It's even throughout the process. I don't have to mess with dampers or vents or temperature control. It's there and it rides. And even after I foil some of my big meats, I can easily throw them on the bottom rack of that GMG and not worry about
it's an oven at that point.
Exactly. I'm going to put a thermometer in it and just wait till it hits a certain temperature, probe it until it feels right, and
and you're done. I know one thing. I have sure put that Green Mountain Grill to use. I got the big Jim Bowie's, the one that you cooked on here and left it here with me. And I'm telling you what, buddy, I have put that thing to use. I have promoted that dadgum grill to so many people, it's not even funny. I bet I have told 200 people about that Green Mountain Grill. As a matter of fact, I'll go to, there was you need to, because there was a guy that we go to church with, and he was like, man, I'm looking at getting a pellet cooker, and I'm looking at this Rec Tech. I said, no, wait, time out. He said, what is it? I said, Green Mountain Grill.
That's it.
And he was like, what? I said, just get the Jim Bowie and thank me later. And sure enough, the next week, I saw him the next week at church. He said, I picked up my Green Mountain Grill Jim Bowie. And he said, I put it all together. And he said, man, I love that thing. So, that's awesome. and I hooked him up with our backyard barbecue recipes, right? And I mean, that thing was a freaking workhorse, 20 recipes. And almost every one of them was cooked on that Green Mountain Grill. Out of those 20, I bet you at least 12 or 13 was cooked on it. And including this amazing bread pudding. Now, I know it's been about a year and a half, Sterling. Is that shoulder all right after I beat you to death?
It hasn't been the same since.
I'm sorry. That if you
my shoulder trying to get to that bread pudding, man.
Oh my gosh, Sterling cooked this bread pudding, and I'm not a big bread pudding person. I really am not. But I was like, all right, I'm gonna try this and just try it. I've never had Sterling's. And I tried it, and I was like, God dog, man, this is pretty dang good. And I had that whoa moment.
And then we put fake cherries.
And I reached back behind me, and I reached over here and got that one right there. It's almost gone, as you can see. And I was like, oh, I got something. And I freaking put a teaspoon of that in my little solo cup and stirred it in. And I took a bite of that, and I started hitting him. I was hitting him so hard, I'm surprised I didn't dislocate his shoulder. And he's like, man, I'm getting abused over here. And I'm telling you, and everybody, and I said, just try it. And you tried it. It's like, oh my God, it was good. And Mark Lambert, I remember Mark Lambert, we got a spot in the video. That's the best bread pudding I've ever put in my mouth. And I was like, wow. And I'm telling you, if you haven't bought any of our backyard barbecue classes, you can go get all 20 for $99.
That was fun.
But if you want to just go get one, it's just worth it, me beating Sterling to death, because that was the best. I'm telling you what, it took it and turned it into like a cobbler.
Sure PTSD from that day.
Oh, I'm sure. It was absolutely amazing. But that Green Mountain Grill is an absolute workhorse. And I'll tell you what.
Stuff coming up with GMG too. We have some new brand, like a logo change, some branding thing. We're going to still have the same amazing grills, but a couple changes that are really cool coming up. So
that's good.
They'll be on the look at them soon from local dealers.
Yep. All right, got a couple questions here. Kyle wants to know if you got a sponsorship from Chester's Chicken. Oh, goodness gracious. He needs it, that's for sure. Let's see who else we're here.
We were driving out, I-40, I-10 East, and every Love's sponsorship.
Oh, yeah. Every Love's has got Chester's Chicken. Oh,
I know. We need to hit up the manager here, get a Love sponsorship, get some Chester's Chicken, maybe a sub every now and then.
Yeah, you ain't kidding. I'll tell you what, that is some...
I'm going to hit up Corporate Love soon, Kyle, so be on the look at that. So,
there you go, right there.
The Tusac, it's not Shevsky.
Okay, that's funny. Oh, let's see what else we got. All right, Lucas wants to know. Ask him if he prefers cooking in the
Oh
U.S. or
man,
over here in
yeah.
Australia. Well, I don't know. I know there's a lot of I know there's a lot of world champions that's come out of that place. Let's see. I know
Man, do I
one is in
prefer?
brisket
Where do I
and two of them
prefer?
is in lamb, right?
The lamb wasn't the world. It was first place, but that wasn't technically
It
a world.
wasn't a championship.
The
Okay,
brisket was a
okay.
world
The brisket was year
invitational.
before last. Okay,
Where do I prefer cooking? That's hard to say, man. In any parking lot, I prefer cooking. In any parking lot, it doesn't matter if it's here, if it's in Australia, Mexico, man. I'll cook anywhere. The cool thing, though, that I love about cooking on Australia, not besides the people, which are amazing and awesome and so embracing of American barbecue and what we do, it's
right.
phenomenal. Like what everybody's doing down there is
Yeah.
to be able to step out of my comfort zone. I'm not in my air conditioner trailer with my Snake River Farms, gold grade brisket with all this meat that's been hand kicked that I pre-trim. I'm cooking under a pop-up tent, finding, working with a butcher before, getting certain cuts. Sometimes I may have aluminum foil or not, and I love cooking lamb because like I said, it's getting me out of that comfort zone and sometimes the four meats, quesadilla style, to me just get a little redundant, kind of doing the same
Mm-hmm.
thing. I love doing it. It's a work and an art, but it is kind of redundant. So I love getting out there and cooking another meat like lamb or another protein. And some of the events in Australia, the one in Burley, they actually have a seafood entry, and we took second place, me and Dan from Team G Mountain Grills, Green Mountain Grills, Australia. So it's really cool to cook seafood, to cook lamb, and just to cook all different kind of proteins. I really
Yeah.
like testing myself in that way, and
Yeah.
like I said, getting out of my comfort zone a little bit.
Right. Right. Well, I know one thing
Oh
that.
man, I would love to cook a comp in Australia, and once it opens up, I'll be there soon, mate. And sign me in.
There you go. There you go. Well, I know one thing. That lamb that
I'll
you
be back.
cooked, I'll be back. Yeah, that lamb that you cooked in the class was absolutely amazing. So
That was great lamb.
it
It
was,
all
it
starts
was,
with
it
good
was really,
product, and then
yeah,
you baby it
yeah,
and you make it right, and hopefully it'll
yeah.
be good at the end.
Well, looky who it is. She's finally joined the party. So now that you
Greetings.
wasn't here at the beginning, so I want to go ahead and give you your recognition, Sonny. I just got to do it. Take a look at that right there. Boom! First place turkey. I don't think he was in here when I showed this just a minute ago. I want to congratulate you. And now that that it's out of the bag that we had this big first place turkey and $1,000. Now the $1 million question for us is Sterling and I both want to know. Inquiring minds want to know.
Acquiring
What
minds.
what what rub did you use on that? So, and she's wanting to know what is the secret ingredient in Gold Star chicken rub.
Mm.
Yummy goodness, that's what it is. So,
There's no secrets, man. The secret is making it work and on the proteins that you're cooking it on. It works well with chicken, all kinds of poultry items. I actually use it as a base layer on my pork in competitions. We won pork at the Jack in
right,
2014, using Gold Star chicken rub as a base layer, and then everything rub on top.
yeah,
So I think the salts that interact with everything. It's got the salty, herby, a little bit of citrus in there, and some back end heat, which pairs well with all kinds of poultry, seafood, and all kinds of meats in
mm-hmm,
general. But it does something to chicken. It does something to poultry, and take it to a next level.
yeah,
And then that's the only rub that I use in my competition. Chicken straight out of the bottle.
yeah,
Gold Star chicken rub. That's my layers that I use. And
yeah,
if it's balanced correctly, I don't need to layer 3 or 4 or 5, 6 different rubs.
right, right,
I think chicken only needs that one. It doesn't need a lot,
yeah,
and that rub just enhances everything that's there.
yeah. It's a good
I have
rub.
an
It really
amazing
is.
co-packer too, Old World Spices. I have to give a shout out to them. They co-pack all my products. They're a great partner to work with. They're out of Overland Park, Kansas, and
Yeah,
manufacturing in Missouri. But they've really invested a lot into their R&D for finding the best quality ingredients. Packing and timing and getting it out to distributors. A lot of that has to do with the freshness of the product.
mm-hmm.
So really working with them is a great partnership.
That's good. Well, do you know Jason Sagmiller? He
No, not
makes an
personally.
absolutely amazing drum. He said, "I like drums." He builds a absolute beautiful drum. He's on with us tonight. Jason, glad to have you here,
Nice.
man.
Drums,
You
drumsticks, all kind of drums.
yeah, good to have you. And Mr. Alan Freeman and I were talking, and your name came up looking at some of the stuff that he's got over there. And I'll tell you what, just amazing product. So let's see who else. We got Cookout Coach, DQ'd Barbecue. He has been on absolute fire. He cooks over in the Mid-Atlantic, I think is the division over there for the Backyard Barbecue and KCBS. He absolutely crushed it. We had
That's
him
cool.
on here.
That's been going on recently.
Yeah,
to have the
so
backyard
that's
series.
been very good. Hashtag ICP. So
ICP, Insane Can Posse.
Yeah. Let's see, Mr. Corey. How did Sterling go from protecting our country to covering it in barbecue sauce? So how did you get into that, Sterling?
Wow.
That's a good question.
Yeah, that's a great question. Let's see. So, well, I was born in Memphis, Tennessee, and I was raised primarily in the South, in Mississippi, Florida, Georgia. I graduated high school in Georgia. So I was around barbecue. I know what barbecue is. It really wasn't something I was, into by any means. I loved eating it, obviously. But I joined the military. I joined the Navy after high school, and I was stationed in San Diego, Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. And then when I got out of the military, I moved to Arizona. My wife is born and raised here, so we started living together. And I used my GI Bill and put myself through college through Arizona State University. And I received a degree in finance. And so pretty much after that, I started banking. Eventually, in my banking career, I worked for a bank that was coming out west. They're based in Kansas City. It's called UMB Bank, and they're the largest sponsor of the American Royal. And they were starting some private wealth management and commercial banking, small business banking group in Scottsdale, Arizona. So they acquired me. I went over to work for that bank. And being out of Kansas City, every year they have an employee barbecue competition on the grounds of Kemper Arena. UMB Bank is owned by the Kemper family. It's a longstanding family in Kansas City. So every year before the American Royal, I think it happened in May, they have an employee barbecue competition. So they get different segments of the bank from, finance to accounting to the Colorado region to auto, all the different groups. And they do a fun employee barbecue competition amongst each other. I've always liked to grill and cook out. Like I said, I wasn't huge into barbecue. I like to grill, do steaks, and make some wings for my buddies when they come over. So, this came up, and being in Arizona, they asked Arizona if you guys wanted to represent a barbecue team to come to this event. And I'm like, absolutely, sign me up. I'll go check it out. We get to Kansas City, and I see these dudes roll in RVs and smokers, and they're partying. And this dude brings me a brisket, this big.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this, man? I have no clue. My eyes just became like, holy mout, I'm out of my league here.
Right.
I'm not in my lane. So I just became infatuated with it. I'm like, okay, this barbecue thing sounds kind of cool. I got home from Arizona and I bought a $50 El Cheapo Brinkman from Home Depot, a bag of mesquite wood, some lighter fluid, a pork shoulder on the way home. Lit that thing up, and it's chugging in my backyard. I got like a freight train back here. I know there's a fire station not too far from my house, and I know they were eyeballing my yard for a while. But it was the worst piece of meat I ever made. It was terrible. It was black and sooty. The pork shoulder didn't pull. It was like rubber bands, and
wow.
I knew I wanted to get better. And this was like 2006, 2007, and so throughout that time, from 2006 to 2007, I actually started competing in 2009. Was my first event. In that 2 years, I actually kind of worked on it. The first event I did was, it was a train wreck. I did okay, but I still didn't know what I was doing. But the really cool story is that was in 2007 for this employee barbecue event that I had no idea what it is. It's on the grounds of Kemper Arena. So in 2000, I start barbecue competing in 2009. I get my first KCBS Grand Championship in 2013, which qualified me for the 2014 American Royal Invitational, which was the last year it was at Kemper Arena. And that year I ended up taking first place in chicken, with a perfect 180 in the Invitational, 7th in ribs, and then in the open, 2nd place pork, 19th brisket, reserve grand champion. Wow. And so it was just really cool to go full circle from 7 years ago, looking at a brisket thinking, how am I going to cook this thing to, reserve grand champion?
That's an amazing story.
It was pretty surreal at times to think about it. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's a
But
great
yeah,
story.
man, it kind of
It
happened
can
there,
happen,
and
you
it
know.
took
Just
off
you
from
have to
there.
get out there and do it. Yeah,
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 absolutely. I started in my backyard just like everybody else. I
yeah,
was, I saw these smokers and these rigs and these people doing everything, and I'm like, what? I mean, there was no
yeah,
way in my head, like, wow, I can never do that. But
yeah,
never say
yeah,
never. You make it a mission to do something, and then
yeah,
it can happen.
yeah. That's true. I mean, I think it was 4 years after we were cooking. I got a grand champion to go to the, it was an invitational for the American Royal, and I told my wife, I was like, I'm going to the American Royal, and she said, we don't do KCBS. I was like, I don't care. I said, if you had
We
told me
are now.
I said, if you had told me 3 years ago that I'd be cooking at the American Royal and the invitational,
How
I
cool
would
is
have told
that?
you you're freaking crazy as hell.
Yeah,
So, and
it's
she was
not.
like, well, we don't do KCBS, and I was like, we are now. And she said,
We're
well, do you want
about
to go
to right
practice
now.
one? Do you want to go cook one? And I was like, nope, I'm just going to show up
Enjoy the
and
experience and the
I'm going to
ride, man.
go and I'm going to cook my brisket that I do in Texas that does so well. And I'm going to cook a pork butt and we're going to do it. And I got up
Amen.
there
Cross
and
your
I'd
fingers.
be dead gum if we didn't have a seventh place pork butt. That was the second pork butt I'd ever cooked in my life. I had a 19th place brisket or excuse me, a 24th place brisket. I finished 19th overall out of 119 teams, and I was
Yeah.
I was like,
How
holy
awesome is
cow.
that?
And I
How
was like, well, now I'm
awesome
going
is
to go ahead and cook the open because I really wasn't going to cook but one meat in the open. I turned around in the open in 500 teams. I had a 27th place brisket and finished
that? You never know,
96th out
right?
of 500. And I was like, man, and ask me how many KCBS competitions I've done since then. Y'all can
Right.
keep that fast paced stuff. So it's crazy.
You
It's
like that
good.
low? You like that hour?
I like the hour
Hour.
between, I like to, I don't know. It's
That
a lot
man.
of fun. It
For me,
really
once
is.
I get started, it's kind of like
Yeah.
starting to train, and I get into it. It's almost a process. I don't even think sometimes. You just do what you do, and sometimes I'll turn in brisket, and then I'll like come out of this phase fog, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, what just happened? I'm in blank.
Yeah. Yeah.
But because you just get in there and you get into, it's almost like muscle memory. You just make it
Yeah.
happen. You
You
know,
do. Once you do
me,
it,
if
I
I
can
have
see
those
how you.
hour, I would be tempted to like take a nap, like make lunch or something. If I had hours
Yeah.
turning, go get a hot dog, maybe a funnel
Yeah.
cake or something.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there you go. I know a guy that can I know a guy that can knock down a few corn dogs, that's for sure. And I guess the biggest thing is that I didn't like about it is dadgum brisket turn in's what time? 1:12,
1:30 usually.
1:30. Man, I cook a low and slow brisket. My brisket cooked at
Yeah,
260, and
you
I
gotta
mean, I
get
had to
up.
get
You
up
gotta
like
have
at
that
one
beauty
o'clock
sleep.
in the morning, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!"
You sleep enough when
So,
you're dead.
yeah, and I was just like, "Oh my gosh, this is horrible." So I can see how the hot and fast guys, it's no big deal. Throw it on, 4 hours, brisket's done. So,
Done, man.
all
Make
right.
it
So,
tender
Caitlin,
and then put it in the box, right?
yeah, if you cook a brisket on a pellet, are you doing it hot and fast or low and slow,
Yeah,
full or
great question.
butcher?
If I'm doing it in my backyard for some friends, I'll throw that thing on at 225 degrees all night long and let it ride and sleep for 10 hours. Wrap it up in the morning until it's probe tender and put it away.
Okay.
For a comp, I'm going to split that brisket. I'm going to split the point and the flat. So I'm really only going to be cooking maybe a 5 pound
5 pound flat.
5 pound flat. And
Right.
I like to ride my GMGs in competition right around 275, 300 degrees.
Okay.
I cook them on an upper rack too. And so 275 to 300, that's kind of, I don't know if that's hot
your
and
comp
fast or low
stuff.
and slow. It's kind of just like a middle at
Right.
275-ish.
Right.
And then I do the same process if I'm cooking on a drum. So what I'll do is just cook to that color, and that bark is kind of set nice. Wrap it until it's
Wrap
probe
it.
tender.
Yep.
Put it away, and then finish. So it doesn't matter if I'm cooking on a pellet or a drum. I'm kind of going to do the same process. If I am doing a pellet, though, it might take a little bit longer because that heat at 275, 300 degrees is different. It's a convection wood heat
Right.
as opposed to that direct fire that's coming on a gateway drum.
Right.
So it may just take a little bit longer on my.
When you cook on
pellet
a
cooker.
backyard brisket, do you wrap in butcher paper so it'll absorb more smoke on a pellet
Honestly,
cooker? Or
yeah,
do you just,
I like if I'm doing backyard. I like messing around with butcher's paper.
yeah.
In comps, I wrap in foil because I want the
Yeah.
jus. I want the
Right,
I'm
right.
doing it for a reason. If I'm doing backyard, I don't mind throwing some butcher's paper on there. I like a nice crusty, like burn
Yep.
in, piece,
Right.
and I can get that with butcher's paper.
And
as
especially cooking on a
opposed to the
pellet
soft
cooker.
bark.
Yeah, pellet
yeah.
pellet cooker allows it to get more smoke. It's just not a ton of smoke. So,
Yeah, and to me,
although
smoke
that
is
Green
an
Mountain
ingredient,
Grill,
like, smoke is an
Green-
ingredient like salt and pepper.
Yeah,
too much
yeah.
smoke. I taste food that comes off of a Jambo,
Yeah.
It's so clean and it runs efficient. You can't pick up a lot of that smoke.
No.
So,
no.
it's all about just running that clean fire and making a tender product. And,
Yeah.
like I said, smoke should be there as an ingredient, not an overwhelming force.
Right. That's right. I remember we were filming and we looked back. It was that morning. And do you remember the smoke that was coming out from underneath my awning that my trailer's on? I was like I've never seen a dead gum pellet cooker put out so much smoke in my life. That thing puts out some smoke. So let's see. Cookout Coach. I always love the excitement Sterling talks about with barbecue. There's no doubt. So
I love it, man. I can't.
Oh, gosh. So here we go. What's the deal with the turnips? All this turnip soups.
Secret.
Oh, goodness.
Secret turnip soup gang. And,
yeah, that's it. Y'all been having some fun with that.
It's kind of like the Dead Poet Society.
Yeah.
Turnips.
I got you. Let's see. Love my Green Mountain Grill, Davy Crockett. Yeah.
Don't we all? I love that grill.
Yeah.
So, speaking of the Davy Crockett, that's what I cooked the first place chicken on at the American World in 2014. That came off of my Davy Crockett. Which was now going to be it's going to be called the Trek. We have a couple names changing the grills.
Okay.
And that's going to be a rebranded product. It's going to be the same awesome grill it is, just a few upgrades to it. But it will be called the GMG Trek going forward.
Okay. What will the Jim Bowie be called?
That's going to be the Peak, and the Daniel Boone is going to be called the Ledge. Obviously, Green Mountain Grill, so we went with the mountain thing.
Right.
We wanted to just represent that. Also, for our international customers, a lot of them don't know who Davy Crockett, Jim Bowie, and some of those guys are. So we're just doing it to make ourselves more visible, across the world.
So the Peak
has nothing to do with anything else.
Peak is the Jim Bowie, because that's the one I always lead everybody to that one. I figure if you're going to get one, might as well get the biggest one. It's not that much difference in the price. It really is.
Exactly. Or buy two of the medium-sized ones. Whatever
let's see. Rob's in the house tonight. Monty's in the house tonight. Let's see.
He said the bread pudding was good when you had bourbon.
Yeah, I saw that. Bread pudding's good.
We wanted to keep it a little, I guess, family friendly for the videos, but I think I drank the bourbon on the side. I'm sure.
Probably so. Probably so. Let's see. Doodle Cute in the house. Up, Smitty.
Corby.
Let's see. Rob's in the house. Telling you congratulations, Sonny. Yep, we're glad you did good. Let's see what else. Let people know about the SEA event. The SEA event's coming up in Arizona.
Exactly. He's reading my mind through the computer.
Yeah.
So actually, this weekend I have a double SCA and double ancillary competition in Peoria, Arizona. We're doing quesadilla and tri-tip for the ancillaries. We got 4 chances to win a golden ticket to the SCA World Finals next year. I think I have about close to 40 teams signed up right now. We have a few spots left. If anybody wants to come out and cook some steak in a parking lot, I have extra girls. I got tents, whatever you need, hit me up. Let's see. The weekend after that, I'll actually be teaching GMG classes in Iowa. I got 2 sold out classes on the 24th and 25th. That would be doing some backyard classes. Okay. I like to get out there with GMG and do a lot of those backyard stuff. That's why, that's where I started. That's where probably 99% of it started is, I'm not necessarily a chef by any means. I started playing in my backyard, and the more knowledge I got, the more I wanted to get into events and competing and take it to that next level. So I love, getting out there and doing these backyard classes across the country.
Yeah.
And then on the 30th of this month, I have another SCA comp in Show Low, Arizona, about 3 hours northeast of Arizona. It's attached to an Arizona BCS competition, which is Barbecue Championship Series. It's a local sanctioning body. It's been running events in Arizona here for the last 10 years. And we're going to add an SCA on Friday night to that. We're going to do steak and tacos. And then we have another SCA event June 19th at Show Low. Double steak, dessert, and meatloaf. I don't know if anybody's done a meatloaf category yet, but we're looking for the Meatloaf King of Arizona at that event. So that's another cool thing about these SCA events is there's ancillaries that are different. It's not the same thing. It allows people to get out there and to express their culinary ideas and skills, and that's really cool about those events. So I like to get out and compete, and not only promote, I compete in several of them as well.
Right.
When I have time.
Yeah. Well, that's for sure. Let's see. Brandon says he'll see you this weekend.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, he's coming down for the SCA event. He's an awesome dude out of Utah. I see him all the time at these events. He's a great supporter of SCA. He does really well.
yeah. I'm just trying to look, see if we got any more.
Yeah, CBA events. Somebody mentioned that too. There was
Yeah,
a CBA event this weekend. Unfortunately, I can't make it. I would like. What do you think about those CBA events, Mike? I mean, instead of the hour turn-ins are 45 minutes, so it's kind of a compromise between
Yeah.
KCBS and IBCA. I talked to Fred Robles about it in Shawnee. He had some amazing things to say about it, how it was organized, how it was structured, how it was scored, and they sound very interesting. I would love to be involved in those events.
Yeah,
I hope they grow and expand and maybe go to other states.
Is it 45 minutes or an hour turn in between?
I think I thought it was 45 minutes. I'm not 100% sure. Don't quote me on this. But
I think it's an hour turn
what's
in.
up, buddy?
But I could be
RGC
wrong.
this weekend.
Yeah, I can't remember if it's 45.
I think it's 45, but
it may be. It may be. I know it's all four meets.
I'm not the best at remembering things. I was told recently.
Yeah, all four meets, no garnish. That's the good thing. So
yeah, no garnish, all four meets. But
yeah.
and I don't think they sit around like they do in IBCA.
No, it's
on that table for infinity.
Goes on around. It goes to a final. That's it. It's 2-round judging.
So that's like the KCBS portion, which I really like. I would love to do that. Like I said, I've competed in BCS, KCBS, IBCA. My first competition was IBCA. Our Jack Draw in 2015, Justin and I was at IBCA GC here in Arizona. ABA, which is the Australian Barbecue Alliance, a couple different other sanctioning bodies, but I love it just because it's something different.
Right. Well, Papa Joe Grilling Supply in Hutto, Texas. We got the new Green Mountain Grills on the way. So Chuck and Vanessa's got them already rolling. They carry about everything that you could possibly imagine.
There's some great specials going on around Mother's Day. So look for some great deals going on from our dealers across the country.
Yep. Okay. So if we need to know, Bill Purvis. Tell us. Is it 45-minute turn-ins or is it 1 hour between turn-ins?
Yeah,
if anybody knows, I think Bill's on the board with that.
Bill will know.
Yeah, he'll know for sure. Let us know, Bill. And I think it's a 1/2 chicken. I think at first they was going to do 2, and then I think they finally decided it's 1/2. It is 1 hour. I thought it was. So 1 hour turn-in, and
half chicken.
Half chicken. I think it's 8 ribs, 8 slices of brisket, and so much on the pork butt, I think is what it is.
Servings or portions.
So, yeah. And I know it seems like 1/2 chicken, and fully jointed chicken, just like IBCA. So they kind of kept some of that stuff the same. It's just 1/2 because you don't have as many rounds judging. So,
and are they doing the same knife and fork situation, or are they picking up and eating with their fingers?
I think it's plastic fork
and a
knife.
It's half chicken, so I'm assuming they're not all picking up and taking a bite and then passing it to the next person.
Yeah, it's a plastic fork and knife. So, like I said, here you go. So
turn it around.
Yeah, spin it over on the other side. I want to be the first one to get the first bite. Exactly. So put me judge number
you're
one.
In P5, man.
Yeah, you're in trouble, man. So,
all
right, 6 rib minimum, 6 slice plastic fork and knife. So it's a 6 slice, 6 rib minimum, and 6 slice. Yeah. So 6 rib minimum, so you can put up to 8, and 6 slices. I don't know if it's 6 slices only or if it's at least 6
minimum,
slices.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe a minimum. Let me know that too, Bill.
I think it's as strict as IBCA because I think in IBCA don't you have to have like
it's
a
9
number and that's it.
Yeah, it's 9.
Less,
it's always 9. 9 ribs, 9 brisket slices, and 2 fully jointed chicken halves. So because they're only going through first round to the final tables, it's 6 ribs minimum, 6 slices of brisket. He just put minimum up. And a half chicken, so
I would love
which is good.
I like trimming half chickens a lot more than
than with that other stuff. That's for sure. So it is a lot faster. The faster pace is pretty nice. They did add pork butt to it as well, and it's one of them things. It's just a little earlier, so it's going to force me to get up. I'm gonna be out there kicking. I haven't cooked one of them yet. No, I have not. So I haven't had any that's been. Most of them have been kind of way south and west of us. So I haven't had a chance. So here's one, Midland, Texas, this weekend, $10,000 payday. That's a pretty big pay. It's a big payday,
right there. That's a CBA event.
SSCBA, yeah,
Wow,
double.
yeah.
It's a double this week. So that's double. That's going to be a Saturday and a
If I
obviously
didn't
that's
have
it's
that
Saturday. It's
FCA
going to be a
event, I'd love
Saturday
to
and
be
a
out there.
Sunday. So yeah, that's good. Hey, Bill, you know what, man? I recognized a lot of people this weekend, and I completely forgot about recognizing you.
Look at you.
Man, what am I thinking? Congratulations to Bill Purvis.
Congrats, buddy,
He
man.
he
Nice work.
had a grand champion this weekend in Gadsden, Oklahoma.
He's been on fire.
Gadsden, Alabama. Philip Breeden had a
RGC.
RGC this weekend. That's his first RGC, if I recall. And Lee Hickle was there. He had a first place
Who took third
brisket.
there?
Third place was Chris Carden with Taste of Grace. So
I think he's may have learned a little bit from
yeah,
somebody.
maybe a little bit. So, but yeah, he finished third, and Lee Hickle had a first place brisket, and I think he got on an absolute table of death. I don't remember if it was. I think it was on chicken. He said it was freaking horrible. So
Happens to the best of us. I had
yeah,
the same thing
and
happen to
yeah,
Shawnee day one. It happens, man. What do?
yeah,
You turn around and you cook better the next day.
you just keep
That's all you
on
can do.
going. They just keep on going. So yes, sir, everybody is going. So that's good. Texas,
Party at the Moon
yeah,
Tower.
Texas did good. I mean, I'm glad to see. You know, when you got Bill Purvis, Philip Breeden, and Lee Hickle showing up from representing Texas, I mean, about the only thing that would complete that is if Fred Robles showed up. Them boys are going to know the Texas boys are serious. So
I was hoping to see them in Lubbock. I
yeah.
didn't know they were going east.
Oh yeah, they are on these. Lee Hickle's still out there. I was like, "Where you at, Lee? South Carolina." This was
He's
Monday.
on a 21 barbecue world tour right now.
Yeah, he is there, and I'm going to South Carolina this weekend. I'm going to North Carolina, and I'm going up to Iowa or Ohio. And I was like, "Golly, man!"
Awesome. How cool is
But
that?
you know, Lee's wanting to make a run for the top 10, and he's gonna, you know, he
That's what
said,
you got to do.
"I'm
If you're doing it for points and all that, you got to put in the time, you got to put in the energy, you got to put in the mileage.
Yeah,
And,
you do.
You know, the points race is one of those things. The more you do, the more
Yeah.
chances you're going to get. You know, and you only get your top 10 in KCBS or whatever it is. So, I mean, like you said, the more swings you get, the more home runs you're going to have.
Yeah. Corey says my food is almost always
Good enough to
win or
Absolutely.
good enough to lose.
Single competition, it's right there, man. It could go right here,
Yeah.
or you know, it's just.
I went too much, man, and they killed me.
What are you
So,
gonna do, man? That's you know, you got to learn to be able to take the good with the bad in this game.
oh yeah,
as much, and
it is a humbling sport. So
it'll get you real quick if you don't have that mentality of what, these are just 6 people in there that I'm trying to impress, and I'm not competing. All those guys out there, I love those guys. They're my friends. You know, I really don't look. I'm competing against any single one of those guys. I'm looking to do my best with those 6 people that are on that table.
right.
You know, those are my competitors. Those tongues in those people's mouth. That's who I'm competing against.
That's it. Let's see. Sonny Mooney's got a question for you. When are you going to come to a comp in the South?
When I have time, it's just tough right now. Everything's starting to come together. A lot of classes that I had canceled are starting to re-up as things are starting to open. Exactly. So, I need to look at my schedule. I would love to do comps everywhere. I love them. And I actually did the Shed last year. Unfortunately, it was the same weekend as the Lubbock event. But I'll be back. I'll be back sometime.
That's good. That's good.
Hold your horses. I'll be there.
He's coming. He's coming. Well, Sterling, let's talk a little bit about your website, lootandbootybbq.com. Tell us a little bit about what you got going on there.
Yeah, through my website, lootandbootybbq.com, it's pretty much my retail outlet for my products. They're sold nationally. My rubs are at least at, Ace Hardwares throughout the country, Bass Pro Shops, Cabela's, Barbecues Galore, Farm Elite, Shields, Big R, internationally in several countries. But if one of those aren't around you, you can get them at lootandbootybbq.com. I have rubs, I have sauces, I have merchandise, all kind of stuff you can get. I also have links to my Barbecue Champs Academy classes where you can learn, chicken, ribs, pork, and brisket. Everything that I do in competition, 24 hours a day. Watch them as many times as you want. That's available from a link to my website as well. So it's really a retail outlet for my products where you can get a hold of anything Loot and Booty Barbecue.
Yeah, and let's roll over there to Barbecue Champs. It's bbqchamps.com. That was a lot of fun right there.
Man, that was a good time.
That was 2
We
great
need to do
days
that
of
again.
filming.
We
That
need to
was
do that
fun.
again.
That was absolutely fun. We had a world champion, a world champion, a world champion, a world champion. We keep calling Lee. He's almost there, but just amazing food. But
Just
if you roll on,
amazing recipes. The food that was coming off that we were putting out that day. It was almost like we were all trying to top each other.
Oh, you were. There's no doubt. I'm sitting back watching, and I was like, nobody's going to let nobody outdo nobody.
Yeah.
So
you're eating somebody's stuff, and you're like, oh, that was phphenomenal. Okay, mine better be better. So you just want to try a little bit extra to make sure that you're.
Yeah, I know it.
Everything that I ate from everybody was like, oh my god, this is. I don't know. My tongue's going to be beat up after this.
I know it.
I'm not going to know what to do. It was amazing.
It was a great day. But here's Sterling's class, Loot and Booty Barbecue. It's a tell-all class. He's got 34 videos totaling over 8.5 hours. This guy's just cooked some amazing food for this. Brisket, ribs, pork, butt, and chicken. First class is 200.
Look at that box. If you look at that box that I did, that's the same exact box that I'm doing to this day. I've been doing that same box for years.
There it is. And chicken, 9 videos on chicken, 7 on ribs, 10 on pork butt. Look at that beautiful pork butt box. And brisket. And total 8 videos there for that. And $249 for the first class, $150 for additional classes. But the kicker is this right here, is get all 4 of them. Save $100. It's $5.99, and I think the biggest thing right there is that you can ask questions online through a private Facebook group. And,
I've had actually several guys that taken my class reach out to me, and we message each other frequently. And what I'll do is give them things that maybe I'm working on from the video. There may be a tweak or maybe a new something I'm trying out.
Right.
So by buying those videos, you have access to any updates that I'm doing. You can ask me any questions or, hey, what do you think of this box? And I'll tell you exactly what I think. And help you
absolutely.
That's what we're here to do. We're here to educate and help. And I love that people are actually taking these videos and to see like their results online. It's crazy. When I first got into barbecue, I never thought it would be just I'm just a dude cooking meat in the parking lot. I'm out there and people come up to me and say, hey, I watched your video. And I'm still kind of taken back a little bit by it. It seems so surreal. But thank you to everybody who has taken my classes. And
absolutely.
And I love it. And thank you all for your support.
Absolutely. Well, tell you what, Sterling, I appreciate you and good luck this year, man. You've been on an absolute roll. Just keep it going. LootandBootyBarbecue.com is his Loot and Booty BBQ, BBQ.com is his website. Go check it out. He's got some great product.
Speaking of product, we need to get some on that shelf behind you, man. I think you used it all.
I probably have. That's for sure.
Where is it?
So it's somewhere.
Okay, there it is.
There it is.
That way.
That is. So my shelves are filling up. That is for sure from all the classes.
I'll send you a package.
Yeah. Anyway, well, Sterling, buddy, get out, knock them dead this year. You're doing great. Keep on, promote your class, get more people involved. We're trying to grow barbecue. We're definitely doing a great job with steak. And as you guys are out there cooking, we're seeing it. The ones that are out cooking consistently are getting your name out there, talking about your class. People are jumping on board and buying them classes up. And that's how we know we're going to expand this, no doubt.
I've taken a couple steak classes myself, before I wanted to get an SCA. I've taken John Lindsay's class. I've also taken Matt Overson's class. I thought I was cooking steak the right way until I took both these classes. I'm like, whoa, okay.
It's
reset. And I've actually done well. I've done well with a lot of their processes and Overson's processes. And some of the basics and fundamentals that John Lindsay had in his class.
No doubt.
I've actually taken a barbecue class too, and like I said, it's always good to get more information from your peers and people who are doing it well. So the more information you can have, the better.
The day you stop learning in barbecue, is the day you go down. No doubt.
Absolutely. Constantly learning.
Yeah. Well, buddy, I appreciate you being here. It looks like we got all the questions answered. We're going to go ahead and wrap this up. And I certainly do appreciate everybody being with us tonight here on Barbecue Champs live with Mr. Sterling Smith with Loot and Booty Barbecue, 3-time world champion and an amazing lamb cooker in Australia as well. Had a great time, Sterling. We appreciate you being here.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it.
And all of our customers and all of our loyal fans that we have here each and every Tuesday at 7 o'clock Central, we appreciate you being here as we close out our classes all the time. Have a lot of fun and